Animated series and cartoons are some of people's favorite shows and either bring them back to their childhood or are enjoyed as an adult. However, there are some very interesting conspiracy theories about some of our favorite shows that could change our whole outlook on them. Today we are going to be breaking down some of the craziest theories about animated series and cartoons. Pokemon Ash Coma Theory. It states that the main character, Ash Ketchum, is actually in a coma, and all the other episodes of the Pokemon anime after episode 1 are all dreams while he's in the coma. So basically, in episode 1, Ash steals Misty's bike to take Pikachu to the Pokemon Center. Soon Ash falls out the bike and onto the ground. He sits there for a few seconds then gets up. Many people believe that after Ash wakes up, that starts the coma dream. When he falls, he gets a concussion, then his coma starts. And people believe that's why Ash doesn't age. It's confirmed that Ash doesn't age from the anime itself. In the start of season 14, the narrator states that Ash is still 10 years old. This theory is also believed to explain many tropes in the series, such as why Nurse Joy and Officer Jamie being identical in each and every town he goes to, because they are the only people of each of these professions that he knows in consciousness. This is also why there are Pokemon centers and police stations close by in every town ready for when he runs into trouble, exactly like in his hometown, Pallet. Another reason this theory would make sense is because the tone of the show changes right after his injury, when in the first episode the world is a more realistic depiction of the Pokemon world, with Pikachu being more of a realistic pet and not being as trustworthy and loyal to his trainer. Also there being real-life consequences to things that he would do in real dangers. After the injury this is dramatically different. With Pokemon being very friendly with him, there is also no real danger or harm, and there seems to be no problems caused by a 10-year-old traveling the world even though his hometown posed its own dangers before. The circumstances around him, as well, were more ideal and seemed to be exactly how he would have wanted them in his dreams, with Professor Oak being very supportive of him, the world being very full of younger children traveling around unsupervised like him and having reliable friends willing to go on any journey with him. The fact that his journey seems to reset after a certain point also supports this theory. This is seen when after he competes in a region's Pokemon League and he gives most of his Pokemon to stay with Professor Oak so he can move on to a next region with weakness and inexperience seen before. The reason for this is because if he's only reached a certain amount of success in consciousness, he won't know what comes next in unconsciousness. The SpongeBob 7 Deadly Sins Theory. The basis of this theory is that SpongeBob's friends represent the 7 deadly sins and each one is surrounding him to keep a balance. There is some debate for who is who, but the best fits for each sin are as follows. Pride is Sandy. Pride is a deep satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. Sandy is deeply proud of her home country, her athletic abilities, and her career as a scientist. Greed is Mr. Krabs. Greed is the selfish desire for something, especially wealth or power. Krabs fits this sin perfectly, since he is obsessed with collecting money just so he can have riches for himself. Lust is Pearl. Lust is intense desires. Pearl is depicted as boy crazy and obsessed with male fish stars. Envy is Plankton. Envy is an insatiable desire. Plankton is deeply envious of the success that his rival Mr. Krabs has achieved. Gluttony is Mrs. Puff. Gluttony is the overindulgence of food. Mrs. Puff is shown to adore food, from chocolate cake to pasta, and is fat. Wrath is Squidward. Wrath is uncontrolled feelings of anger and hatred. Squidward hates his life, his job, his neighbors, and practically everything else about Bikini Bottom. Sloth is Patrick. Sloth is excessive laziness. Patrick is ridiculously lazy, he is unemployed, lives under a rock, and sleeps a lot. Garfield Starvation Theory. This theory explains that he is actually starving to death the whole time and he was hallucinating everything that was going on around him, including John and OD. Even though Garfield seems like an average cat from the outside and his home life is relatively normal, the real story, if this theory is true, is that Garfield was abandoned a long time ago by John, and he's slowly starving to death while hallucinating the memories of a more comfortable life. This explains his extreme binge eating and obsession with food. This theory was even shown to be true in the 1989 Garfield Halloween special. Garfield wakes up to find the house empty, then looks outside to find the windows boarded up and the grass overgrown. It proves so traumatic that he forces himself back into the hallucination and the normal storyline could continue. ScoobyDoo economic depression theory. This theory states that the original ScoobyDoo cartoon took place during a period of economic depression, making sense of why every place they visit is run down or closed, whether it's amusement parks, mills, businesses, etc. Supposedly, this economic depression was so terrible that it even affected famous people like celebrities, professors, and athletes, as well as experts in fields like robotics and special effects. Because of these setbacks, many of these normally respected individuals and individuals with highly marketable job skills devoted themselves to a life of crime, often disguising themselves as monsters to evade blame. This also explains why the teenage characters are never seen in school because all schools would have shut down. Additionally, since the gang is always in their van with no clear destination, it is possible they are homeless and living in the van. Majin Buu represents America. This following Dragon Ball Z theory looks into the fan favorite, childlike pink monster, Majin Buu, specifically, that Majin Buu is a stand-in representation of the United States of America purposely done by the show creator. A post on Reddit made 9 years ago shines a light on the theory that Majin Buu represents the Japanese perspective of America during World War II. The evidence for this is vital to support the theory. First, it's important to address the character of Majin Buu himself. Majin Buu is fat, loud, loves to eat and always acts in a way that makes him the center of attention. These are all stereotypes of American people that have led some non-Americans to think that all Americans are like this. It's a little out there, but stereotypes are nothing new in media, and anime productions have showcased their fair share of American stereotypes throughout the years. However, such an example is too surface level. There are deeper explanations from a historical sense that shine a light on Majin Buu potentially being a stand-in for America. The first is that Majin Buu, being created from Dabura, defeated his creator because he didn't like how he was being treated and wanted independence. This act from Buu could be interpreted as Buu being America and Dabura being the British Empire. Buu rebelling could therefore be a symbol of the American Revolution. Buu then grows more powerful and goes on conquest after conquest, taking down his opponents and turning them into candy to be consumed. This could be seen as American imperialism. When Buu suffers from a traumatic event, he is split into two, and the two sides fight, with the stronger and more villainous side winning. This event can be interpreted as the American Civil War. It's no surprise that when Majin Buu rejoined after the battle, he was stronger than ever and became a powerhouse, just like the United States did after the Civil War. Overall, that is some of the craziest theories about popular animes and cartoons. If there is any missing, or if you want another video with more theories, let me know in the comment section below.